What is going on, YouTube? This is Jim back with another video, and today I want to talk to you guys about the Shadow of the Colossus remake. As you guys know, Shadow is by far my favorite game of all time. It left such an emotional impact with me that I still think about it on a nearly daily basis. It is the gold standard to which I compare every other game that I've played. And when Sony announced during their E3 press conference this year that they were going to release a remaster of the game, I was very excited. Now, you could distinguish what a remaster versus a remake is. To me, it sounds like they're starting with a clean sheet of code, so to speak, and they're starting with nothing, and they're basically recreating the entire game from scratch. So we could probably expect to see a better engine, maybe potentially different control schemes. I don't know. I would expect that the core gameplay is going to remain faithful to the original. But something that was interesting, and the point of this video today, was I was reading an article of Fumito Ueda. Now, he is the creator of Shadow of the Colossus. And he said that he gave a list of bullet points over to Sony, some things that he would like to see. Now, it's hard to tell exactly what was truly said because this is a translation of a translation of translation, and I've checked numerous websites to see if I can figure out what was truly said. But from what I can tell, most of the websites seem to translate his message pretty clearly with little inconsistencies, saying that he's not going to tell you what the changes are. And he was faithful to the original vision of the game. However, there were some things he liked, but he didn't want to say anything because if it didn't make it in the final copy of the game, it would look bad. There's always been the controversy of, are we going to see the 17th, 18th Colossus? Ueda was very clear on that, and he said that he felt the story revolved around 16 and there was nothing else to explore. Doesn't mean we wouldn't like to see a 17 and 18th and maybe some kind of new game plus mode or some sort of challenge map where you could just fight them just to see what it's like, because we know the assets are in fact in the game. But it sounds like it's going to be pretty original story to the first, and I don't have any objection to that. Of course, hardcore fans like myself are going to be comparing everything, but to me, the game looks perfect in my head. It played perfect in my head, and I know that that's not true. So I'm hoping that they tighten up the controls. The thing I'm worried about, though, one of the translation articles basically said that Ueda was basically told, thanks but no thanks, we're not taking any of your suggestions. And it was the way that it was translated that it made it basically sound like he gave Bluepoint some points to consider, and they dismissed him very quickly. You know, Ueda was involved in the creation of The Last Guardian from A to Z, and while that was a long, turbulent process that we'll probably never know the truth of development about, he was involved from the beginning, and I'm sure it was true to his vision in terms of story and definitely in terms of element, because I'm sorry, rather than emotion, because it definitely resonated with me on a very emotional level, much like Shadow did. But the controls weren't that great, and there was definitely some nagging issues with the game. So I'm not entirely sure I'm upset if he doesn't have final say in what happens in the Bluepoint Shadow of the Colossus game, because maybe they have a better way to do it. Now, I know that a lot of people have been dissecting a lot of these games. Crash Bandicoot seems to be the latest one where they're taking a new game, obviously Final Fantasy VII, if it ever comes out. People are starting to dissect what did we see in the original version versus the new version, and I think overwhelmingly positive. Everybody loves the new version because it really takes advantage of some of the new capabilities of the console, and it's got better textures and loading and that sort of thing. So I'm sure that it's in good hands. I'm obviously very possessive of the game and very protective of it because it means so much to me, but I'm going to get it no matter what, and I hope there's a collector's edition because it would be so cool to have either Argo and Wander or one of the Colossus, you know, with you know, this epicness that goes into it, similar to how the Last Guardian collector's edition was, where, you know, you had Trico as this giant bird and a little tiny boy standing on his head. That would actually be really cool to see. So hopefully they make a collector edition. Hopefully Ueda's points were considered, but I hope that enough of the game is fresh and new that people give it another chance, because I can't tell you how many hours I've spent in my life playing games. Nothing even comes remotely close to the emotion that I felt playing Shadow of the Colossus. So Can't wait to see what happens. I'm a very eager fan. As always, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Get out there and cry at the ending of your favorite video game. And until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.